Oh, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Right here in Florida, it's late night and it's tiring. I'm tired. I had a very long day, but today I am back to talk about a few things. After my video, I think on Sunday was it? Yeah, my video on Sunday, I've been getting like tons and tons of phone calls, messages, voice messages, people in shock about the announcement about my going through divorce, and they just can't believe it because, like I've always said, my marriage was one that people looked up to, and that was actually the reason why I had to stay in there. Well, I thought I should stay in there, and that was the reason why I was in there for so long, for 27
in shock
years, and
about
yeah, for 27 years. But then later on, realized that you know what, this is very toxic. I'm going to talk about a few things today. So today, my topic is from brokenness to breakthrough. From brokenness to breakthrough. Please share this video to friends and family or whoever you know. But before I go through it, introducing to you my upcoming coaching program, a 4 week program that's coming up on October 6th. But I'm doing a 10% discount right now between now and Friday, September 26th. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Don't let that 10% go. Go to my website. Make sure that you do have, I mean, choose one of the payment options. You can do a full payment, or you can also do the bi-weekly payments. Okay. It's very, very important, especially if you're a woman and you're looking to transform your life. You know, if you're looking to transform your life in a spiritual way, physical way, or financial way. So go to my website, make sure you click on the link. You can come back and watch this video, but you could go to my website right now, check it out, check the options out, and make sure that you select one of them. And let's join together and have this 4 week program where you will be shown to be spiritually, physically, and financially free. All those who have known me on social media have always known me for my, you know, weight loss program that has worked. You've seen my videos, you've seen testimonials, you know me personally, you know my weight loss program works. But like I said in my video, my most recent video, I had to put that coaching business aside and deal with myself and find myself. Because even though I was on social media, you know, teaching women to look after themselves and be, their authentic self, I was in an abusive situation that most Christians think is the best way to be in. No, I've always told people, I keep on telling them, I say, this God that loves you so much to the extent that despite the sin that mankind has sinned and separated us from God, if he can send his one and only son to come and die for you, if you are that important to him, why would he be more interested in you being married than you having your peace of mind, than you having the joy, the fullness of joy that God has promised for you? It just does not make sense when people want you to stay in an environment that does not work. We are humans. So if one person is saying that this other human being is putting me in a place where I know that's not where God has placed me, and I want to leave the marriage, you don't force them to stay. And that's what people are. It's manipulation. It is witchcraft. And when I say these things, people think I'm insulting people. I'm not insulting anybody. If you don't have a word to a certain behavior, you'll be like fighting in the wind. You'll be fighting. You will just be throwing bombs at anywhere, anyhow. But when you're able to identify what you're dealing with, and everything has a name, if you don't realize that people who want to put you in a box, who want to, put you under oppression, making you believe that God hates divorce, so just stay in there, and you don't search the Bible for yourself, you don't go to seminars for yourself, you don't associate yourself with people with like-mindedness, people who are passionate about the works of God, who are passionate about making it to heaven, and you're just listening to what people are saying, you will stay in an environment and think that this is the best for me. No, that's an insult on God sending his son to come die for you. It's an insult. Imagine Trump sending his child to come into my neighborhood to to knowing that this child may never come back. That child coming into my neighborhood to help the poor, to help the sick, and knowing that we, the poor, the sick, will turn around and kill his son, and yet still he still sends his son. And if after the death, I'm just sitting in that neighborhood and still feeling like, well, this is where I belong, in the filth, in the sin and everything, it's a slap in his face. We are trying to tell him, what was the point of even sending your son? So I'm here to let you know, any woman, any man, but I'm focusing on women because I'm a woman and I've been through this. So I'm speaking it from experience. From the men's perspective, I'm not a man, so I don't know their perspective. But as a human being, I know that no human being should stay in an abusive situation, whether you're a man or a woman. The unfortunate thing is with women, because we are weaker, we are not as strong, and most of the time the society descends really critically on us. It becomes really hard for a woman to leave. If a man feels like the marriage is not working and they want to leave, society will not attack them the way women are attacked. And the excuse that people give is like, oh, because of the children. Do you realize the toxicity that these children experience, these children see when the marriage is not going well, and this toxic environment? You can feel it in the atmosphere, and it's a door that you're opening. You have opened doors for demonic entities to come into your home, because there is so much fight, there is no oneness, there is no prayer, you're not fighting principalities. There are doors and windows open. This was the main reason why I made a decision that, do you know what? I have to step out of this environment to be able to pray the way I want to be able to be free spiritually, and be able to pray and command the spiritual realm, so that the devil have no foothold in my family. That's why I had to leave. I had to leave. Uh, it, 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 it was a must. I had to. And if you're a woman sitting in such an environment, because I've been getting phone calls upon phone calls from women who are going through the same thing, and I'm telling them, listen, you're living a lie. You are living a lie. Some deaconesses, some pastors' wives, And you listen to them and you feel so brokenhearted and you're thinking, just be real. Just be okay with people talking about you. People will always talk. That's why I'm inviting you to this 4-week program. Sign up. You are struggling, you have no clue what to do. Sign up for this upcoming program. There's a 10% discount. It ends this Friday, September 26th. After that, the discount is done. It's going to go to full price. Go to my website. I've posted the link. Go there, look at what it entails, what's in there. Make sure that you sign up. There's a full payment portion of it. There's also a bi-weekly payment portion of it. Choose one. But you cannot be in an environment as a believer. Listen, I was talking to one lady, and uh she was, for her, she married, the first one was so abusive, toxic to the children. She divorced that marriage, got into a second one. The second one was, I think, was even, I don't know if it was worse than the first one or so, I don't know, but got out of that one too. I'm not encouraging any human being to be playing around with their hearts like that. No, you're too precious. You're too precious. Don't play with your heart like that. Let God play with your heart. If anybody has to play with your heart, let your Heavenly Father do that. Let your Heavenly Father do that. And how did I come to this point? When I was broken, like in the marriage, because I did not really see the red flags and I just thought that, oh, this is who the person is. Um, Everything was more about blaming myself. It was, what can I do better? Oh, how can I make things better? What did I do this time? Oh, how can I do it better the next time? It was a matter of me always trying to make things better every single time, trying to make things better. And the moment I felt broken was when I was able to sit down, study the Word of God, fast and pray, go for seminars, left the church, left the church, left that church, not God's church. I always have to clarify that, because I've seen some believers have this church hurt and they don't even want to go to church anymore, or they go to church and they're not functioning the way God wants them to function. I left that church, but I went to another church. I stayed in God's church. I stayed in a community of believers. And in my current church right now, I remember my pastor and his wife, I asked them to write a letter of support for something I needed them to write. And I was like, I'm the outreach administrator for my church. And within a year, we've been able to collaborate with 5 organizations that we constantly volunteer with. And every last Saturday of every month, we go on the streets, we give out socks and underwears. But this particular, on July 12th, was national. Every year, it's something that Christians do. National, they call it Serve Day. Our church, this was the first time we did that this year, July 12th, and 125 church members turned up in the community. 5 places, 125, 5 organizations that we have collaborated with as an administrator. And when they were writing the letter of support for me, I was like downplaying it. I was like, I was able to, as an administrator, whatever, we had over 100 people turn up, and pastor's wife changed, it said 125. And I think there were other things too that I really sort of downplayed it. And this is, after being in a place where I could not even speak, you go for a meeting, leadership meeting and you're asking questions, you're asking for accountability. When somebody says, I'm a church member, what does church member mean? Does it mean they have to fill out a membership form? And when they fill it out, what are the benefits of being a church member? These are the benefits when you register as a church member. If you have a child, this is what you get. If your family member dies, this is what you get. I could not see these things anywhere in the previous church. And it, as somebody that's educated and, into, I've been a director of nursing before, and I'm into policies and all those things. These are the guiding things that any organization has to have. So if your organization doesn't have these things, that's a problem. I mean, it won't even function in the United States. So the organization has it, but for it to be implemented, culture had taken over these policies. So for me, it wasn't a biggie. I was looking for a church that was accountable to, this is what we have said, and we are actually doing it. So when I went to Courageous Church and I looked at listen, this is a church that um, the founder, there was a transition. So the founder moved away to Texas, and this new leadership, Pastor, the pastor and his wife came in only a year ago, last year, May last year. And within 1 year, the church has been around for 4 years, but within that 1 year that they came, listen, this year we did 3 services this year. In October, on October 4th, we are going to 4 services. Tell me that God is not happy with this church. How can you tell me that this is not a moving church? This is not a church with revival. We are doing fastings and prayers. We meet every week and pray. We do 21 days fasting. The number of people being baptized is enormous. Listen, I was only broken when I realized that I'm in a toxic space. And I was like, what is this? The number one thing I did was, one time there was this lady that I used to go to church with in my previous church. And she was, for all of a sudden, for some reason, she started talking about her life and what she had been through with the abuse and divorce and whatever. And she mentioned a psychologist's name. His name is David Clark. The moment, so this lady was just telling me her whole story. I don't know even how that story started, because I have no clue how that conversation started. But I was in the space of, am I seeing things right? It's been so many years, but this is abuse. It's so hard to see certain levels of abuse when it's toxic, when you're being called dumb, like I have my masters. like I'm like a gifted child. Like, listen, I know I'm smart, but I was told that wow boy, so hey, what Jimmy? Kwashia. And this is how the person would say kwashia. I'm like, these are words that even with the worldly people, when they say it, these are like a no-go kind of words. These are swear words in Ghanaian language. But for all those years, I was always blaming myself. Or maybe if I didn't say this, next time I will say it differently. And the most disgusting part was people from the church would call him and report me to him. One lady that up till today, I still cannot fathom. This is a person that everybody knows just drinks, and like her pictures on her status is like she's drinking, like sleeping with people's men. Like this lady just calls him and tells him that I spoke rudely to her or whatever, and this man comes home and like rains insults on me. I'm like, eh, you didn't even ask me my side of the story. And this wasn't the first time. The people in the church, that tiny church in Clearwater, I don't care, I'll say it, Clearwater Church. You people, some will, not all of you, some. This person will call, today your wife said this. Today, tomorrow your wife said that. Me, me, the way I am, the lady I am. There are some of the allegations when they come, I just have to laugh because it is so, it's a bon, it's smelly. It's like, ah, 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 ah. You're attributing that to me, a lady like me. But anyway, so the moment I realized that no, this is actually abuse, and I even said it to him in his face. I said, these words that you're saying, it's abuse. And he started laughing. I said, yeah, it's abuse. It's bully. When you're bullying somebody, when you're doing something to somebody and you know the person doesn't like it and you're still doing it, it's bullying. And God doesn't like that. God does not like it when you're doing something, and another human being is not happy about it, but then you just want to do whatever you want to do and you really don't care what the person I mean about the person's feelings. So when I decided that this person has been doing this, when it became so clear to me after the lady told me about her divorce and the Dr. Clark's name, my brain just grasped on that name. And when I went home, I looked him up and I started watching his videos. If you're in this toxic environment, go study. This is not a joke. It's not a joke. Yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine, a social worker, and she helps people give them like a map as to how to escape plan. There's a strategy to do it. You cannot just, one day just get up and say, I'm being abused, I'm going for divorce. No. No, 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 no. You don't do it with certain people, with such people, abusive people. No. They will not let you sleep. They will fight you to the T, to their own detriment. Their own detriment. They know this fight I'm fighting can come back and bite me big time, but they will still fight you just to be spiteful. They will not get anything out of it, but just to stress you out, they will fight you. No, study, learn. Sign up for this coaching. You have access to me. We'll talk about it more. I also have one-on-one coaching. And the one-on-one coaching has always been wonderful whenever I used to do it like 2 years ago. Now I'm starting again. That one-on-one coaching really helps because you're able to freely tell me what's going on in your life, and I'm able to guide you spiritually, physically, financially. Listen, I was talking to another lady. Her divorce was like $40,000 for years of fighting and this. Listen, there are ways to go through divorce without having to spend so much. Be spiritual, be sensitive to the Holy Spirit. This particular lawyer that I got, so after listening to Dr. Clark's videos and buying his book, I bought his audiobook. And the book is titled Enough is Enough. The right title that I needed at the time. Enough is enough. I had gone through this kind of life, and this was enough for me. Hey, Deaconess. Dr. Felicitas, thanks for joining me. Hi, Nanaya. I really appreciate you guys. Ahima Nimobwating. Who else is watching? Ohene Nimobwating. Mami, Mami Fe Quason. Thanks for joining. Please share this video. Nana Afisapon. Hey, Nana, how are you? Thanks for your message. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. You know, Enough is Enough, that book. And I couldn't buy the physical book because I didn't want it to be laying around for him to see it. Because I remember I stayed in the house for 8 months before I left. And I was preparing my mind, my finances, my everything. You have to get strategy. Ha! Strategy. I was listening to this audio book. Like I'll be cooking, I'll be listening. I come back from work. I used to do night shifts and I was sleeping in an office and the AC for some reason, the AC in that office, the remote, I couldn't find the remote. So it was hot. And at some point, all the cars, he'd be like, I bought this car, whatever. But our money was in one account. He wouldn't let me have my own money, even $50 to myself. So like if somebody needs something, I can give them something. It just didn't make sense. All the money has to be in the same account, and that was where everything was coming from. And yeah, so um audiobook. I was listening to the audiobook in this AC, non-AC room. And at some point with the cars, I said to him, you know what, I'll buy my own car. I'll buy another car because now you've claimed these two cars to be yours. So I'll buy my own car. For 2 weeks, I was walking back and forth from work. No, actually, when I was going to work, I would take an Uber because I had to get there, prepared. I didn't want to walk that distance. And it's Florida, it's humid. You will sweat. You don't want to end up coming to work sweaty, and the hospitals are cold, so the sweat will make you shiver more. So I would take an Uber to work. And then when I finished work the next day, after working 12 hours in the morning, I would walk by the roadside for more than an hour, and the sun was facing my direction. And the sun was facing my direction. Hey, I would be sweating, and sometimes I would stop, go stay in a Wawa. If you don't know Wawa, I don't know if it's only here in the South that it's like a station, a Shell, a gas station, and it has a small like convenience store. So I would just go in there, stay in there, just stay in the cool for about 5-10 minutes, and then I would walk. 2 weeks. And I had in my mind that God will give me a car. And I told God, I don't want any car payments. That's another thing. That's another portion of the financial freedom that I talk about in my coaching. There are so many ways that you can actually, be financially free. You have to learn how to, live a lifestyle of, not pleasing people, looking like, I don't care what you think about me. I could be driving the worst car in the world. I care less what people think about me. So I told God, I said, I want to buy a car for $1,500. I was looking on Facebook, everywhere for $1,500. And because I can drive the shift car, the car that you shift, the UK kind of car, Ghana kind of car, the one that is not the American one that's automatic that you just tap on the accelerator and that's it. So I was looking for, because I knew that like for a modern car, a good car, for me to buy it for $1,500, it would be challenging. So I thought maybe somebody has a shift car that they don't know how to drive and they just want to get rid of it. And another thing that really made me really firmly believe that I will get a car for $1,500 was because when I was in the UK before I was coming here, I had a car. Remember in 2018, I went there and it was the same marriage issues. We were in Michigan and I had to go to um, UK. I had to stop my PhD. So, all those of you who didn't know the story, this is the story. I was doing my PhD. I was in so much debt, and I didn't want to continue having debts. And I was like, I'm a registered nurse. I can get a job now. What's the point of racking up all these student loans, get my PhD for what? Become a doctor and be in debt for the rest of my life? No, I don't want it. I can get the doctorate whenever I want. I don't want it now. So that was why I went to the UK. But then when I was coming back, I was driving a car in the UK and I wanted to sell the car. And because the time was so short, and it's the same this manipulation thing, yeah. I thought I was going, I was like, I'm struggling here in this country too much. I'm going back to the UK. I My whole family is there. I have my UK papers. I was still a student here paying international fees. It was not worth it. So whilst I was there, I got a job here in the US. So I was coming back, and so I had to sell that car. And nobody, it was such a short notice, and I couldn't get anywhere to put it, so I had to give it away. And I'm sure whoever got the car might have thought, well, maybe there's something wrong with this car. Why is somebody just giving it away, you know so I had in my mind that I could actually get a car, a good running car, for $1,500. There could be somebody out there that desperately wants to get rid of their car, and they would be willing to sell me a good car for $1,500. That was my mindset. And I manifested that. Within 2 weeks, a nurse in the hospital I was working at, I had picked some medications, was walking into a patient's room, and I heard the nurse tell another nurse, I bought this new car and I really want to get rid of my old car. And I really need to get rid of it because it's just there and it's just a waste of space and I just want to sell it. So I paused and then I walked back and I said, how much are you selling the car? I didn't even care what car it was. Said, how much are you selling the car? She said, $1,000. Tell me my father did not hear me. My papa hears me. Shit. Huh. When you know God for yourself, ah, huh. She was selling the car for $1,000. And now me, in my negotiation, I was like, would you take 500 for it? God has given me 500 for free. I'm still negotiating that. And she said, no, thousand is good enough. Thousand is my kind of, and I bought the car just like that. Just one day she called me. She was like, hey Grace, the car's ready. If you're ready, we can go to the DMV, the motor vehicle today, and I can, you give me the money, we can change the title into your name. Just like that. That same day we went to the DMV. We did a walk-in. We sat there for so long, but we got the car title changed into my name. I drove that car. And that's what I've been driving for more than a year now. Since May last year. May last year. So 1.5 years I've been driving that small car. It's a small car with less gas because the previous cars that we were using, Dodge Durango, big tank, unnecessary. BMW, unnecessary. And one BMW tire alone, the expense that we were paying. And I'm somebody that, is very mindful of finances. I hate debt. Ay, ay, ay. If I can use the word hate, it's debt that I would use that word for. I don't want to owe any human being anything. No. When you owe somebody, you are a slave to that person. And I don't want to be a slave to anybody. I'm a slave only to God. So, yeah, so I got that car, and within the time that I was listening to David Clark, you know, the audio book, then I moved on to listening to Dr. Ramani. These are names I'm mentioning so that if you're going through anything like that, go listen to these people. It'll help you. I listened to it. I binge watched the videos. I, another person, Chris Reese, she's female white. Dr. Ramani is an Indian woman. Uh, David Clark is a white man. Like you could see the diversity. And the funny bit is when you listen to all these people, they were saying the same characteristics of abusers, the same characteristics. And this is an African man, oh. And this is an Indian uh, doctor, a white woman, a white male psychologist, and the same words that they're using in their verbiage is the same characteristics that I'm seeing in my home. Checklist, checklist, checklist. Ah, Jesus. Hey, Grace Ado, thanks for joining. Bisenyame. Thanks for joining. So, yeah. But anyway, if you're going through anything like that, feel free. Go to my website. The link is right there in the chat. Go to my website, register. This week it's 10% off. Make sure you make use of the um make sure you make use of the 10% off. It ends this Friday. It will not be extended. So please don't text me asking me, "Hey, can I have the 10%?" No. You heard me say it. Go make use of it. And there's also the full payment plan is there, and also the bi-weekly every 2 weeks. The payment is broken into four payments. You can do bi-weekly payments. Okay. And we need to really reset our minds when it comes to spirituality and physically. When it comes to things of the physical, I would say I'm a pro, and I'm proud to say I'm a pro because I have studied it, I have lived it, I have learned it, I have success stories. When it comes to my children, um, since they were kids till now, I have never ever raised my voice at them, like insulted them or hit them ever. And I've seen some Ghanaian or African families justify why they have to hit a child. Well, as some, not all the time, but you can hit a child. If you're hitting, you're hitting. If you're not, you're not. So there can't be an in between. Okay. And my kids are the highest functioning in their schools. Like Shirley is teaching her upper classmates statistics. And she started when she went to ninth grade in high school. Now she's in, I think, 11th grade. She taught higher math from, you know, Marie gift in the gifted program, like high level gifted program, the best in the area. David, full time, full 100% scholarship, also getting stipends for these are kids I have never ever hit in my life. So when it comes to the physical, girl, I'm your girl. How do you do it as a mother? That's why spirituality is my number one go-to thing. When you know Christ, when you know who you are, when you know humanity, when you respect human beings, when you respect what God has done for any human being. Even with all that I'm going through, there is no way ever that I would ever look down on my ex. Never. Because if I do that, I'm insulting God. God loves him too. I remember one time he made a comment. I think he posted something and somebody was telling me the audacity of him posting this, whatever. And I said, well, he has the freedom to say whatever he wants. That's okay with me. And I have the freedom to say what I want. I cannot control what he says, you know. So, first off, you have to be spiritually free. You have to really free yourself spiritually. Get rid of the junk, toxic unforgiveness. You open too many spiritual doors for demons to freely just step in when you're angry, when you're not forgiving people. No, I don't have that energy to be opening those legally opening those doors for the devil to step in. No, he cannot, because I've closed those doors, because I'm being intentional about following the Bible, following what God expects of me when it comes to love. What is love? You know, love is long suffering. Love never fails. Love whatever. Love whatever. Love whatever. And sometimes we interpret it as love in the marriage is this. It is love as in general, love for another human being, those characteristics. And if you don't have those characteristics in your marriage, you don't have those characteristics for any human being, then what are you doing as a believer? Because the whole foundation of Christianity is love. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. God so loved us. So Christianity is all about love. So spiritually, you should be able to let go of, toxicity. I was telling one lady, I said, I always pray for my ex because he's still my kid's dad. If he loses his job and he's not able to cater for them, I'll be the one looking after them. So he has to have a job. If he gets sick and, the kids have to go visit him and, he's not able to cater for them, it will fall back on me. And the kids love their dad. They don't care what you've been through. It has nothing to do with them. So, so spiritually, you have to have a way of being spiritually free, and physically, the things that you need to build a positive lifestyle, you know, exercising, eating well, the things that go into your mouth. Someday we will be judged. Someday God is going to judge us as to why we ate that food at a certain time when we know that our blood sugar, we've been told that our blood sugar is at pre-diabetes, and we are still eating that cake at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night. We cannot control ourselves. God is going to ask us, as little as this may be, it is still self control. So, physically, we need, especially Christians, sometimes we look at the sins that other people are doing and we are honing in on a certain sin, but we don't realize that even gluttony is sin. Eating more than you really need. You're not hungry, you're fed, but you still want to add that donut on top of it. You still want to add that the fruit. You still want to add that jollof, even though you really don't need it. Self-control. So physically, if you're struggling with your weight, if you have diseases that require medications, you need help. Go to my website, register. Get the 10% off ASAP. And then the third component is being financially free. And these are done all through God's grace. You know what grace is? Unmerited favor. You're going to be favored of God. And the great thing is, my name is Grace. So I graciously do the things I do, and grace covers you. Funny story. Yesterday, I went to the post office. I was wearing this club t shirt from the Grace Movement, Dr. Sam's uh, uh, organization. And I was wearing the t-shirt, the club tee, and the lady at the post office said, "Hmm, I have a question. I see that your name here says Grace Williams, and there's a name on your shirt that says the Grace Movement. What is it about?" I was like, I started laughing. I was like, and at my church too, the outreach team is called Grace in Action, and it was named this year whilst I was the administrator for the outreach team. We needed a name for the outreach team, and the leader gave this name for the outreach team, Grace in Action. And people were asking me, "Did you name it? Or was it named after you?" No, the name Grace. It's a gracious covering of merited favor. So when you come under my coaching, that word grace, the grace of God, and I know it. I know it. People who have gone through my coaching, you know it. There is this graciousness that you're going to feel. Your voice is heard. I allow people to speak. I was also talking to another lady that was sharing her concerns about, in leadership, there was a meeting and she voiced out something. She had a question, and the pastor called her later and said, "You know what? Please don't ask such questions in the middle of meetings like that. Ask your husband at home for those questions to be answered for you before you come to the meeting." No, I'm not like that. I will allow you to speak as long as you're not insulting people. If you have a question, you need an answer. That's why you're asking that question. So I make people feel so comfortable around me, not feel like, their heads will be chopped off, for asking a certain question. And this lady said, "You know what? After I did that, and the pastor did whatever, I after that I would during another meeting I just had my earbuds on. I wasn't even listening." And you don't want to do that to people that come to you. So I'm not like that. I will give you every chance to open up. This is a group coaching, so you have to be mindful of what you're saying. Hopefully people will not take your the things that you say, they will not take it out. But if they do, be mindful that um I will, in my power and in my position, be able to, uh, stamp out people who are toxic. And no, I don't allow such people around me. No, I fired one of my clients, like she couldn't believe it. She was paid in thousands. Like she's a nurse practitioner thinking that she's better than me. Like, listen, you came to me because you know my coaching works. You know me, and I'm telling you, do this. You know you need to lose that weight. You know I can help you. I'm telling you to do this, and now you're going to show me that you know better than me. I gave her money back, transferred the money. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to coach you anymore. Get out of my coaching. But yeah, people who are, um, feel free, be comfortable around me. People who know me that I am very easy. I'm an easygoing person. So, yeah, the grace of God is with us, and this is a movement. This is a movement to help women become spiritually, physically, and financially free. And if you're a man and your wife wants to join this program, don't feel intimidated. Don't feel like anybody is going to indoctrinate anybody. Your wife should be strong enough. If you, the man, if you're, supporting her, if you're encouraging her, if you're using the right words for her, and she feels comfortable with you, knowing that you're supportive of her, you're not intimidated by her success, you're not your ego is not leading the way. you your wife, you should be confident that she's going to learn something without using it to come back and fight you. So be comfortable signing up this for them. I've seen husbands sign up my coaching program for their wives to come learn something. So feel comfortable that your wife is going to be in the right place. And if you're the woman and you know this is going to help you, I've also had instances where women know that I can help them and they're like, I'm going to ask my husband if I should join. I'm like, listen, he will say no, because even you don't know if you have to join. If you cannot tell yourself that this is what I need and this is what I'm going to do, and you're going to ask another human being, they don't have the experience that you've had to make that decision. They will tell you no. So if you go away from here and you don't make that decision that you're going to join and figure out a way to make a financial payment for this, don't even ask him. Don't go asking. Usually, when you're going to let him know that I am joining this coaching program. I believe it will help me because of this, this, and that. That's different from I've seen this coaching program. Can I join? Chances are he will say no. So, financial wellness. We'll learn how to, budget, how to get rid of your debts. In the American system, debt is almost like a thing that if you don't have, you will not be successful. No. Billionaires don't have credit card debts. They can even buy that. They can buy that bank. Why would they get in credit card debts? It's the middle class, the working class, that unfortunately just stay in that cycle. Sad, sad cycle. You finish university, you do a wonderful program, you're done, you have your tons of student loans ready, but yes, still you think, oh well, now I've got a job that pays over $80,000 or $100,000. You go get a car with car payments of about $500, a nice car. Everybody has seen that. Well, you've got a great job. Then you go get a mortgage, a house, and then your kids are going to after school activities, and you cannot even see these children. Not worth it. Not worth it. So join the program. Like I said, it's a 10% off discount this week. It ends on Friday, the 26th. So make sure you go to the website. I've posted the link right here. Click on the link, go to the website, check it out. There's a one-time payment option. There's also a full payment option. Okay, it's broken up into four payments every 2 weeks. You can make the payment every 2 weeks, and yeah. So just join us, and sis, your breakthrough is waiting. Are you ready to step into it? All right, I gotta end here. Let me acknowledge certain people that just joined later. Esther, uh, Esther who? Aziati, Ozo Anita, Lady Annie Nash, Ellen Roma Kessie. Hey, Ellen, long time. Oh, Ellen, Stephen Aite. Hey, pasta, oh, pasta. My one and only pasta. Diana Prempeh. All right, I've got to end here. It's past 12 midnight too. All right. God bless you all, and I love you all. Bye bye now. And so I'm using StreamYard and to click on end, and it doesn't even end. And then clicking on end, leave studio, and it's still on.